You got it going on because God made you. You got it going on because God made you. You got it going on because God made you. So stretch your stuff now. Stretch your stuff now. Stretch your stuff now because God made you. Welcome to the OGB Talk Show. And tonight we are going to be doing story time. Okay, I'm trying to get better at these, so I'm practicing. We're going back in time to my college days, my very first boyfriend, and my first kiss. And we're going to talk about it, okay? And the lessons I learned along the way. And I guess you could say kind of like my first sort of heartbreak, but we'll get into that. And then I also want to talk about another story time because this first one will be kind of short. So I'm going to add on to it this man that I dated that sometimes I used to wonder, did I miss my husband? Especially the way the other thing went. But so let's get into it. Oh, yes. Let me just say this. I know I just want to put it out there. If you want to support my dark chocolate mental health habit, I would appreciate it. It's been a tough season, y'all. Oh my goodness, it's been a tough season. But God is faithful, okay? How they say the struggle is real, but God is the realist. Amen. And so he provides, so if you want to bless me, I truly appreciate it. My Cash App information is right there. $ IO Love Wins. LOVEWINS. Okay. So $IO Love Wins. I truly would appreciate it. It'll truly be a blessing to me. But yeah, so let's just jump into it. The story time. So I was about 19 years old because the way my birthday worked, you know how it is. Always at some point a year older than I should be for my grade. So it was my first year. I'm at my college, Agnes Scott in Decatur, Georgia. Shout out to my Scotties. We made sure you can't say all girls school, all women's school, okay? And so what happened? At Agnes Scott's, it may be different now, but at that time there was just like a real small group of African American females, and so whenever they would throw these parties, this worked in our favor. There would always be more guys than girls, and a lot of the guys were from Morehouse. And so I remember I was in my room and one of the girls, she was older. She was in a higher grade. She comes knocking the door. Y'all gotta come. Me and my roommate, y'all gotta come to the party. Y'all gotta come. And so, really, y'all, as a Christian, and I was a young Christian. I had stopped like dancing for probably a very long time, like 6-7 years, and before like dancing in terms of like worldly dancing. And because I had stopped kind of like doing the worldly dancing, from that God had blessed me to do lyrical dancing. But at the time, that wasn't popular in the churches, so it wasn't like how they have it now. They didn't have that, okay? and that wasn't going on. So I got saved at 13, and I would just worship God through lyrical dance all the time, like at home, especially when I was by myself. So, but I hadn't really danced because that was the one thing I always loved. And I was like, well, if you love God, are you willing to give up your dancing? And so I hadn't danced. But I got in college, y'all, and I let the flesh of the devil get to me. And I'm back out there on that dance floor, still trying to be mindful of what kind of music I dance to. But here I am. I'm falling for the peer pressure. Come on. Y'all got to come on downstairs. So I go. And if you listen to my other story time, I don't need nobody to dance with me, okay? I am that big personality, real crazy back then. And I would just go out there to the dance floor by myself. So anyway, I'm just dancing, having a good time. And he came over and, I think he asked me to dance. I know he asked me to dance. And he was a nice looking guy. I wasn't really thinking too much of it other than it's a dance is a dance. Was not one of those females that felt like, oh my gosh, if we dance, there's got to be the one or whatever. I wasn't really into it like that. So but yeah, he was a nice looking guy though. He had some like light green eyes, just attractive guy. So end up, and he was from Morehouse, and so we just kind of danced, and then it went from dancing to, we left from out of there to go like on the patio, and we're just talking and everything like that. And yeah, so we just kind of like seemed like we just kind of hit it off. And from there, we hanging out every weekend, all of that. And so I remember asking him about his previous relationship. How'd your previous relationship go? And he was honest and said he ended up cheating on a girl. Ladies, what would y'all have done? After he told y'all that, would y'all continue in the relationship or would you have left? And mind you, now, this is like my first boyfriend as an adult. Okay. I had like what I call boyfriends, in high school, a couple of them, but we had never kissed or anything like that. Just was phone talking. Okay. So this was like my first, what I call real boyfriend, right? And I remember him telling me that. And there was this part of me that was like, girl, if he already cheated on her, he gonna cheat on you. Okay. That was my common sense side. But then it was the other side of me that wants to show somebody compassion. My compassion being used against me. Well, you should at least give him a chance. Listen, when people tell you who they are, believe them and save yourself the heartache. Lesson number one. I just felt like when he said he had cheated on his other girlfriend, I probably should have pulled the plug. Especially being that, my first boyfriend, I don't want that type of history, So I should have pulled the plug on that. But I didn't, because I'm trying to be thoughtful and give him a chance. This is when your heart sometimes can work against you. Okay? So anyway, like I said, we're talking and everything like that. And his mom loved me because his mom, of course, she was in the church and she was a Christian. And when he got with me, I had him in church every Sunday, honey. I didn't have a car, so he would come pick me up and we would go to church. Okay. Now he had me doing things I shouldn't be doing, but I definitely had him in church. We both were influencing each other. And at that time, oh my gosh, this is a whole nother story time in and of itself. The church I used to go to, a mega church in Atlanta. I'm not going to say the name, but I just feel like if I say the name, it just makes me want to go into it. But yeah, so I was going to this mega church in Atlanta at the time. And so, we would go and all of that stuff together. And, and I guess, first boyfriend, it was, and then I think we had like our first kiss. I had my first like kiss with him and everything like that. And yeah, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like my first boyfriend, I probably wasn't really into him, which is probably a good thing, right? They say that it's better when the guy is into you than vice versa. Some people don't agree with that, but some people say that's the way to, I guess, make sure the man treat you right. And I guess it could have been because I was really in love with this other guy before him. Oh my gosh. And I remember while I was in my relationship with my first boyfriend, and I'm gonna call him what am I calling him? Um, James. I'm gonna just call him James. Okay, so yeah, James. I I don't know. It was my first boyfriend, y'all. But at the same time, there was this guy that I had really, really liked. And the only reason why I didn't go further with him was because our religions were so different. He was Baha'i, I was a Christian, and I am so in love with him. I'm so in love with you. You're beautiful. And so I don't know, maybe that's why I didn't really get into my first boyfriend as deep because I really had a crush on him. And I remember that he called me, the other guy, I'll call him, I should have had these names together. Matthew. I was really into Matthew. And I remember him calling me while I was in a relationship with James. And he wanted to take me out. But I was like, no, I'm in a relationship right now. Me being all faithful, which I should have been. So anyhow, so yeah, so our relationship was, going on. Oh, we had some drama. I almost forgot. Let me touch on some of this drama. So I remember I went with my friend. I think, did we go to Louisiana, New Orleans for a weekend or something like that? I went with my friend and I'm calling him and he's not answering. He's not picking up. This goes on for hours. Matter of fact, I don't hear from him that whole night. Finally get through to him, talk to him, and I'm like going crazy. Like, why won't he answer? I'm like, oh, he cheating on me, da da da. So when he finally did answer, he confessed that his a friend, a female friend or whatever, he had been, that entered talking to her or whatever. They had been around each other, but he didn't do anything. And I don't know what he said about his phone, why he wasn't answering. I can't remember if he gave the excuse or whatever. I should have been done with him. Okay. After that. But I let that slide. I let the excuse slide. Ladies. Okay. Now, he already told me ahead of time he cheated on his ex. Now, here I am out of town. He's not answering. Then he going to tell me that he also saw a female friend he hadn't seen for a while, but it was just friendly, nothing. Okay. And I think I ended up seeing or meeting her too. So, update. Let me. So, it's already looking bad. It's already looking bad if you ask me. So then it came a weekend. It was Freaknik weekend, y'all. Oh, who remember Freaknik? Let me know in the comments. It was Freaknik weekend, and I think I wasn't feeling that good. I was feeling kind of sick that weekend. And of course, Atlanta was packed, okay? Packed, all right? And I remember somewhere along the time, because I had been slipping up, sinning. I had been not having sex, full-blown sex, but doing sexual things I had no business doing. I had, that sort of thing, things I had never done before with this quote-unquote first boyfriend, okay? And I remember asking God, I said, God, if you don't want me to be with him anymore, then just show me. Show me in a way that I know. Why did I say that? Less than 24 hours. The Lord answered, okay? He was like, my daughter, I want you back to me in purity and holiness, because I don't know what you got going on. You have left me. You are not doing what you should be doing. You are compromising. So less than 24 hours, the Lord answers me. Here's how I got my answer. I'm sick, Freaknik weekend, but I called my boyfriend, my God sense. Some people call it intuition. I call it God sense. My God sense is going off that something's not right. So I'm calling my boyfriend, calling him, no answer. You know what my crazy butt did? Feeling sick. Oh no, here it is, Freaknik going on. But my crazy self I made sure I called myself. I just put on like a whatever. I was not trying to look cute or anything. I was trying not to even be seen because I didn't want none of them men to try to bother me. So I wasn't going to go out there trying to be cute, right? So I just put on anything, like trying to hopefully not even be noticed. I think I may have had like on a sweatpants or something and a hoodie type shirt. I was just trying to not be noticed because I know how it was out there. I'm going by myself out there to Morehouse because I'm about to figure out what's going on. So your girl starts, and I didn't even have a car. I get on MARTA. I begin my trip, MARTA, bus, wherever. And the next thing you know, I'm downtown in the heart of it, not far from Morehouse. But just before I get to Morehouse, these dudes start grabbing me. Oh my gosh. I get away. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I tell you, God is faithful even when we're not. Get away. And I see these two girls. They're from, I see the two girls and shout out to them. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Shout out to them. Spellman, the Spellman sisters. Mwah, love y'all. Okay. I saw them and I said, could I please walk with you all? So they let me walk with them to Morehouse. When I got to Morehouse, shout out to the Morehouse guys. They let me in. They let me in. And not only that, shout out to my boyfriend's friends. Mwah. They treated me so well. See, I was a sweetie and I got along with his friends, and I think his friends didn't like what he was doing behind my back. Okay. So when I got there, they let me in. They let me into, into Morehouse. I had to go stay with his friends because at that time, he wasn't in the room yet. So, so I went and stayed in the room with his boys. I just having a good time, okay? Just chilling with them, right? So finally, I can't remember how I got news, but he finally gets back to the room, and I think he answers my call, finally. And to his surprise, I came. Boop, boop, boop. And guess what? Another female, another old photo, excuse me. That's right. The floor is like, no, he didn't. Another old female, that old friend female is there. I'm like, okay. And now here's the crazy part. Ladies, why do y'all do this? Why do y'all get upset with the girlfriend who don't know you? Why? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. So I get there, the girl is there, and she all up like in my business. She there with her friends. So it's almost like they acting like they want to jump me. I'm like, I don't even know y'all. We don't have any connection. I don't know where is all of this animosity coming from. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen you in my life. You know about me, but I don't know about you. So the girl that he, the friend from the past or whatever, and I guess I came and they didn't really do nothing because, but it's still emotional cheating and he probably would have did something. I don't know. So I do know, I believe so. But anyway, before they can get into that, here I am on the scene. I'm like, what is going on? Okay. And you're not answering my calls. So the girl is like, what kind of relationship y'all got anyway? Y'all not even having sex. I mean, just all up, baby. Look, and let me put a notepad in here for those of y'all who giving up your goods, honey, and they treating you just as bad and worse. And that's really more horrible. Okay, that's right, honey. I didn't give him the best of me, so when I give him this deuces, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, he's like trying to apologize and all of this. And the girl and her friend, like I said, they acting like they want to, fight me and be kind of like being, and I said, look, I don't know y'all. I don't date women. I date men. And so I don't know why we even have a conversation. Because I'm not in a relationship with you. I'm in a relationship with him. So next. And I just politely went on my way, to deal with him. And so then she got mad about that. I don't know what she expected. I don't know if she wanted him to, I don't know, leave me for her, whatever. So girl, they were crazy. Like so they left. And I think I ended up, me and him talking. I was like, oh my gosh. And of course I'm so sorry. And I know I shouldn't have did it. Please forgive me. And I remember, I think the next morning, because I think it was kind of late. So I ended up spending the night there. Morehouse. I used to spend the night there all the time though. But yeah, so, we leaving that morning. Don't you know these crazy girls are following us in the car? Like, I mean, I'm like, nah, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. Y'all didn't have a relationship. Y'all didn't even do nothing, but you are going ballistic. You know he had a girlfriend, and you trying to follow us and imitate. I was like, this is crazy. Okay. So and that's the thing. I just want, ladies, stop doing that. Don't do that. You are in a relationship with that man. If that man cheats on you, all the energy you have should go to that man, not the female. She doesn't even know you. Now it's different if it's somebody you knew, a friend or something that betrayed you, but somebody who don't even know you and you got all of this, no. Okay? No. So yeah, so then, so here we are that morning. He's driving, I'm in the car, and in my head it's like, so what you gonna do now? And I'm so like emotionalist in a lot of ways, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that's the one thing. I did a lot of things I should have no business doing, but thank God I didn't give him the best of me. I didn't lose my virginity to him. Because I probably would have tried to. But yeah, so it was like, it was more of it wasn't an emotional decision, because it was like, okay, he messed up big time. I mean, he already done messed up before. You gave him a chance before, and now this, oh no, this drama. And I remember he was trying to kind of pull on me because he had lost somebody in his family. He was like, oh, I forgot to tell you all about that. Now, like I said, before I go into the end, I got to throw this in there. Shout out to his mom. But yeah, she had loved to me. I even flew into where he was from and all of that to meet his parents and his family. Like, and that was funny because that's when I was on my, I guess you can say more like feminist type thing. I was like, mm-mm. And I remember he didn't want to wash out the tub because his mom didn't make him wash out the tub. She always did it for him. Now, Mom, you wrong for that. You should have been having him. I love your mom. Now you sweet, but you should have had him cleaning out his own top. So then I was so mad about that. And so I remember the first night when I would spend the night there, and of course they had to sleep in the different rooms, respectful. And so I remember I went in the tub and I went in there to take I had to go take a shower, and he went before me, and I was like, you got to clean it. He was like, no, I don't have to clean it for my mom. So I'm not, my mom cleaned up after me, and he refused to clean it. So I had to finally just break down, clean out after him. And I was so mad, y'all, because the young me, the 19, 20-year-old me was not trying to have it. Now, I'm not like that anymore. I now, believe it, trying to serve my husband. I do believe, though, ain't nothing wrong with a man cleaning up after himself now. But I'm just saying, I'm not as uptight as I once was, because before I wasn't playing nothing. Now I'm trying to do nothing. He asked me to wash the clothes one time. I washed it all right. Them clothes were so many different colors, and that was my way of telling him, don't you ever ask me again. And he didn't. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so but moving forward now. So here it is. He's cheated on me emotionally. I don't think it wasn't physical, but emotionally. And it's like, okay, so what you gonna do now? And yeah, oh yes, he had lost somebody in his family. I forgot about that. So he was trying to use that to have me go back to his hometown again, and we would have drove, and that would have been a long drive, like 6-7 hours, something like that. And so he was kind of trying to use that to kind of, make me feel like that compassion for him. And I thought about it. I was like, okay, what you gonna do? And this was just more of a logical decision. I was like, you can forgive him, give him one more chance, but he's gonna do this again. Or you can just go ahead and cut your losses and keep it moving. And I remember we're sitting there. He had brought me back to my dorm, and he's crying tears and saying how sorry he is and how much he, loved me. So I knew, I said, this is all fake and phony. And right there and there, with them fake tears coming down his eyes, I told him, nope, it's over. And I broke up with him. So that was my first boyfriend and my first little heartbreak. And that in less than 24 hours after me asking God, Lord, should I break up with him? Do you want me with him? And this is what God exposed. And it's sad because I shouldn't even been asking God that question. God don't want you with somebody that's leading you further away from him, leading you into sin. Now, shout out, I did get him into church. Maybe a seed or two was sown, but I was slipping, and it was up to me to have drawn that line. But the bottom line is we were not on the same page. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to more so waited out with me, probably waiting for the day when I break down, and just went all the way. But that really wasn't what he was about. We were not on the same page spiritually, so I really shouldn't have been dating him at all. But during that time, it just felt like it was almost seemed impossible to find a saved guy, and I found myself compromising all the time, dating men that weren't quote unquote saved. And not saying that you couldn't influence somebody, because I know a sister, she influenced a young man to become saved, and they got married and doing well. So you can definitely influence them in a good way. But I was doing it the wrong way because I allowed myself to get caught up in the lust portion of it. But yeah, so that was my first boyfriend, my first quote unquote heartbreak, and some of the lessons I learned along the way. Okay. All right, so let's now jump into my second story time about the man that I sometimes wonder, could that have made a good husband for me? But then there's also some things that make me question that, okay? So it was, I remember this guy I was teaching at the time. So this really post college days. I was teaching at the time. And I think he was like a school officer or something like that. And he happened to come. I was teaching at elementary school in Atlanta. Shout out to A.D. Williams Elementary. Shout out to Bowen Holmes. Ha! Shout out. Mwah. I love you all. Miss you. I need to really try to reach some of my old students. But shout out to them. So, but at this time, the officer, y'all don't know about this, kids. The officer had came to the school, and when I tell you, y'all, this man was fine. He was fine. He had the attention of all the teachers. A nice looking man, probably about, I don't know, maybe 6'2", 6'3", caramel complexion, just beautiful. Some men you just can't say they handsome. You guys say they're beautiful. Okay, he was handsome and beautiful. Okay. And so I don't know. I remember, seeing him, and I think I had maybe walked by him or something like that, and we started chatting, and we end up exchanging numbers. Okay. So from that point, I think we went out on a we had ended up, okay, we ended up going out on a date. I want to try to remember the restaurant. I know one of my favorite restaurants back in the day was Olive Gardens, but I don't think it was Olive Gardens. I think it was like a seafood place, but it was a nice restaurant. And I remember, I mean, like I said, he was gorgeous. And even when my roommate, when he came to pick me up and she saw him, she's like, oh yeah, he is nice looking. And so yeah, we went out to eat. It was a good time. He told me about his daughter. I think he had like a 3 or 4 year old daughter, and he was actually raising them himself. And just beautiful little girl. I mean, it was like, but he just seemed to be a nice guy. We had a really good time. So the next day, I think he we went out for ice cream. He took me out again and again. Just a really good time, enjoying him. He had like if I remember correctly, he also was like spiritual, and he was a Christian. It just sounded so good, except for one problem, y'all. I think at that time I was probably 24, 25. And I want to say he was like 38 or 40. I don't know. But he was so much older to me, especially back then when I'm in my 20s. I just felt like, oh my goodness, I don't know about this. And so I got cold feet, y'all. And I think I broke his heart. And I called him one day and I just told him, hey, I don't think I can go out with you anymore because you're just too old for me. You're a little bit too older, whatever. And he was like, okay, what? And then we hung up. So then I changed my mind. I was like, no, I think I still do want to talk to him. I do. So I tried to call him back, y'all, but he would not pick up. He never responded. Did I lose the love of my life? Oh, because I mean, was that the one, y'all? Was that the one? I mean, he was spiritual. He was handsome. He had a beautiful little girl, and I wouldn't have mind. Was that the one? He treated me good. There was no red flags so far. But when I look back at it, I think that worked out for my good. And let me tell you why. Number one, he was a police officer. And I don't know. Now I'm hearing that you got to watch out for dating on police officers, okay? Number two, I was really young, really friendly. And I'm just wondering, like, was this man going to be jealous? I had ticked him off, and where would that have gone? Was he abusive? Because I remember that he had custody of his daughter, but he was just saying like the mom just, I guess the mom wasn't together. But when I think about it, the tone he had towards that mom was kind of like rough, meaning like he didn't want to have nothing to do with her. It wasn't a whole lot of mercy there. And then, so I was like, I mess up. If I talk to somebody too long, I wonder, he an officer, if he gonna get upset, if he gonna be trying to check me because I have a friendly, outgoing personality, right? So I was like, this might have worked out for my good to, leave that alone. And then the fact that he just seemed so unforgiving, like he was not giving me no second chance after I was like, I got cold feet. But I guess who could blame him, right? I kind of can't fully blame him on that, but But yeah, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments, y'all. Do y'all think I dodged a bullet, or could he have been a good man? But I don't know. There's just certain men and certain professions that say you just got to be careful about. Who knows if it's true or not? Okay, I'm sure. Shout out, I love my police officer. I think y'all should be paid more. Those that are good police officers that abide by the law, not the other ones I'm talking about, but those that are good and abide by the law. I do appreciate you all. Okay. But I don't know in terms of spouse, I just be hearing some crazy stuff, but that's about all types of profession. I was listening to this one guy who's a dating coach, and yeah, he was saying, be careful of the military men, police officers, or lawyers, doctors. I was like, Lord, did you leave us anybody? But we know all in all it's going to be based on that person. So look, y'all, but let me know what you think about the story time. I'm trying to get better with these, you all. But yeah, that's just some of my thoughts on that. So remember, ladies, only God's best. Don't be giving up your goodies out here. That's for your husband. Another thing I didn't call out, but kissing, I have now, based on my deeper understanding of the scripture, I understand that kissing too is for the wedding day. Amen. So don't stop kissing all them frogs and save it for your wedding day with your husband after the I do. Okay? Because the Bible tells us that we should be treating each other like brothers and sisters. Okay? Up until that point, you actually step into becoming the wife. So don't get ahead. And plus, all that intimate kissing can open you up to a fall. So keep it cute. More than that, keep it holy. Okay, keep it pure, and save all of that affection, all of that for your husband after the I do. All right, y'all. Look, you got it going on because God made you. You got it going on because God made you. You got it going on because God made you. So stretch yourself now, stretch yourself now, stretch yourself now because God made you. Woo! All right. So now I'm just going to hang out a little while longer with everyone. Oh, yes. And a reminder again, look, I've been unemployed and it's been crazy. So if you want to help me out with my dark chocolate mental health habit, please do so. Cash App, $ iolovewins. Okay, so now we're going on to part 2, a little mukbang. For the first time, I bought some food from, I think it's called non-NAAN, non-Indian restaurant. I also want to open it up for fellowship. So if anybody want to join me on the screen, you are more than welcome. Let me see where the link is. Yep, I'm copying the link. Cause I really am looking for, yeah. Um, you can have the camera off or on, it doesn't matter. Okay. But come up here and chat with me. All righty. As I'm really looking for my people, y'all, my people. So let's see if we connect like that. So let me grab my food. Ooh. Did anyone tell you that you're everything I wish I could be? A beautiful face without you. Right away, I thank God for you. Woo! Ow, ow, ow! They kind of hot. Let me see. So let me see. I'm trying to. So I got this from the non-Indian restaurant. I'm proud of myself. I got some lamb. I rarely ever eat lamb. And y'all, I am really 95% plant based. But sometimes when I go out to eat, I just cannot convince myself to spend that much money for rice and vegetables I can make at home. And I was kind of like having feeding for some protein. So I just broke down and got some lamb. And you all, it is delicious. It's definitely delicious. Let me grab my yogurt. Definitely delicious. Um, yeah, and I got some yogurt, and yeah, that yogurt mixed with it, it's good stuff. You know what I think I'm gonna do? Because I do want to hang out with y'all on this fourth. So I'm gonna come back after I eat. Enjoy the story time. Talk to me in the comments. Love you all. God loves you best. And again, just because I may add this on, enjoy the story time. Make sure you comment. Talk to me. How would have handled that situation? How old were you when you had? Okay. How old were you when you had your first boyfriend? Let's just chat it out in the comments. I love you, and only God's best for me and you. We out.